Hey guys, what's going on? It's Crypto Frank here to give you this crypto news. Today we're talking about Cardano and Polkadot. But before we get started, let me know, how do you take your coffee? I take it black. I like to really experience the flavor of the coffee. I don't know if you have it with milk or with sugar. I did in the past, but now this bitterness, this strong flavor, it really gets me pumped. And it gets me pumped to tell you guys about Cardano, ADA, and Polkadot and tell you why I think that Cardano is winning right now. What we're going to do today is we're going to go over a whole bunch of crypto news related to Polkadot news and Cardano news. I've highlighted a whole bunch of interesting texts here from recent news. We're going to go over some of the fundamentals as well. Guys, I believe strongly in technical analysis and why this can tell us how things are moving and where they're likely to progress. However, today we're going to look just at fundamental analysis, but subscribe to the channel and I will make another video looking at the technical analysis to explain why Cardano has been pumping, where we might see it go, and how it compares to Polkadot. But in any case, until then, we have a whole bunch of crypto news to look at. We're also going to look at some Polkadot stats to see how much is being staked. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on. Investors looking for Polkadot to be the next Ethereum, but of course a whole bunch of Cardano news as well. DeFi could be coming to Cardano. We have Goguen coming up. We have Cardano being the most developed blockchain. Lots of interesting stuff going on over the past few weeks. So if you want to get caught up on everything Polkadot and everything Cardano, then this is the place to be. This is the video to watch. Guys, if you find this video too long, feel free to look at the markers down in the video section so you can skip to, if you wanted to look at recent Polkadot news or look at recent Cardano news or look at the conclusion or look at the fundamentals between the two. All right, guys, so with that being said, let's get started. So first of all, Polkadot and Cardano are two of my favorite projects. I really like that they're both trying to compete with Ethereum, and I really like that Polkadot especially is not only competing with but complementing Ethereum and all other blockchains. Actually, the idea of Polkadot to me is more exciting than the idea of Cardano, but I really like a lot of things about both projects. And as you can see, they are both very close in terms of market cap, $4.37 billion, Cardano $4.267 billion. And we've seen some very interesting price action for both of these projects, as well as a lot of interesting news. So before we get onto the news, I want to show you where I sometimes get my news from, which is announcements on Telegram. So if you go to Cardano announcements, we see a big difference between Cardano and Polkadot. Cardano here, with almost 22,000 subscribers, they have tons and tons of updates. I think about 80 within the last just couple of months. And Polkadot, if you look, we have December 5th. The last one was October 23rd. For some reason, they're really not updating in the announcements channel. And if, I went to the Polkadot official Telegram channel, it's just a mess. There's so much stuff about scams going on. It's just, I asked some questions which didn't really get replied to, or they did, but then I wasn't really satisfied. I was asking about announcements and they directed me here, and I'm like, wow, there's only 3 announcements in the last basically 3 months, and this is a number 8 or number 9 cryptocurrency. Like I was pretty disappointed to see how badly they are updating the community on Telegram. But if we do a quick search for Polkadot news, of course you will see that there has been a whole bunch of interesting news recently. So let's start with the Polkadot recent news section. So first of all, Houbi Global looked to become a key player in the Polkadot ecosystem, according to Cointelegraph on December 5th. So this is very important because Houbi Global, of course, is one of the most major exchanges. And if they are making this commitment, not just in the news by saying it, but also by committing to a $5 million Tether stablecoin fund from the Houbi Innovation Lab to support developers, event organizers, content creators, and ambassadors throughout the Polkadot ecosystem. So, despite the Telegram not being updated, if you see big companies in the industry investing millions, and not just a couple million, but $5 million, this is definitely a good sign that, Polkadot is not going anywhere and that people are still very optimistic about what they have to offer. Now, Larry Zuckernick here from Grayscale is a little bit skeptical about Polkadot. He cautions platforms like Polkadot not to take developer migration for granted. So one of the things that Polkadot hopes to do, of course, is to get developers from Ethereum developing on Solidity to develop on the Polkadot blockchain. And this is not so easy to do. And what I found really interesting, I actually went to the tweet here to see exactly what he said. He said, first of all, ETH killers often say there are millions of developers who aren't ideological about which blockchain to build on. That's their target market. What they're missing is this target market will likely look at existing blockchain developers for help with blockchain selections. And then of course he goes on to say nobody wants to be stuck building on top of a blockchain that's technically superior but socially lonely. Guys, this is really the crux of the matter. Polkadot might be technically superior, it might have faster transactions, it might have more features, but if people aren't using it, if developers are not there, it just doesn't matter. So the challenge that Polkadot will have will be to get these developers over to Polkadot. But of course, don't forget that Polkadot also supplements Ethereum and many other blockchains. They don't actually have to build on Polkadot. Polkadot can integrate the Ethereum blockchain as well. So from that perspective, Polkadot is not, completely dependent on developers moving over to Polkadot. And then of course, finally, they compare the Polkadot token to the Ethereum token. We're not going to go over Polkadot versus Ethereum. Today we're going over Polkadot versus Cardano, but it is worthy to note that, there's about a 12, 13x before we get to Ethereum's market cap. So I think it's pretty reasonably priced right now, considering that they don't actually have support for parachains yet, which is something that we will look over in this video to see when that might happen. Now, Polkadot have been having a little bit of trouble with validators. So Ethereum co-founder Gavin Wood's Web 3.0 focused Polkadot project launches initiative to support decentralization. So the Polkadot team has invited developers to join its 1,000 validators program. And basically the idea of this program is to try and get more validators. So by taking part in the program, users will be able to support the strength of the network by contributing to the shared security of Polkadot and creating more decentralization. So you see right now, Polkadot only has 254 validators. And basically the reason that they're launching this is because they want to have more validators to make it more decentralized. As we will see shortly, Cardano and Ethereum have significantly more validators on their network. Even Kusama has a lot more validators. And also, despite the low number of validators, you can see that we have increased. So in July 2020, we had 100 validators. That number has since grown to over 230. As I say, we have 254 right now. I found some more stats here in polkascan.io, which I found interesting. For example, you can see the total new accounts by day. So you can see there's over 1,000 new accounts being created on Polkadot every day. So it's very encouraging to see that this is being used on a regular basis and new people are coming onto the network. And then more Polkadot news. Again, why don't they put this in the Telegram official channel? I don't know. I think they have a Discord channel, but in any case, I'm on Telegram, so I don't see them. I might check out Discord later. Let me know if you guys are on a Polkadot Discord channel or if you get your Polkadot announcements through any other channel. I'd be happy to check that out. Polkadot launches DeFi alliance with Chainlink and will let 1,000 nodes bloom. So this again, just past week, December 4th. It's great to see all these recent updates. So the alliance here with Chainlink and others aims to overcome the decentralized nature of the Polkadot ecosystem, providing a platform for its community to discuss using the Polkadot network and its underlying substrate technology for DeFi. So basically what they want to do is they want to get together to promote developer best practices for DeFi protocols. So it's great that we have all these decentralized protocols, but it really is important to have some centralization in the sense that, some sort of governing bodies who can say, well, these are the best practices, these are the ways that we can, approve of different protocols and different ways of doing things. So it's great to see that, Chainlink and Polkadot are coming together also with Plasm Network and Tidal Finance, as well as, of course, PolkaSwap. And in this article on Cointelegraph, as I mentioned, Kusama has 700 active validators with a further 393 awaiting, whereas Polkadot only has, as we saw over here, 254. So Polkadot still has a ways to go before becoming as decentralized as Kusama, at least in terms of active validators. Guys, there's a lot of different ways that you can determine the decentralization of one of the cryptocurrencies, but this of course is one important one. How many different validators are there? Now, one thing which I found really awesome, really interesting for Polkadot is that 2/3 of the Polkadot supply is being staked. Guys, this is huge. In terms of Ethereum, we have a very, very small amount. I'll show you guys later how much that is, but have a look right now for Polkadot. For Polkadot, 66.38% is being staked, according to stakingrewards.com here. And that means that, a huge amount of the supply is being staked, is being used to secure the network. So this is really, really great news for the security of the Polkadot network. If you compare that to Kusama here, kusama.polkastats.io, they have just 50% of the network being staked right now. So maybe, less people are aware of it. I'm not sure exactly why, but in any case, they do have more validators, as mentioned before. They have 433 waiting now. So Kusama is actually really exciting, and Kusama has been outperforming Polkadot over the past few months. So definitely something interesting to look into. I think it could potentially be a better play than Polkadot even. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. Now here we have this article by Coindesk.com. As DeFi grows, investors look to Polkadot to be the next Ethereum. I think this is kind of a little bit of a clickbait title. I didn't see a lot of really substantive evidence showing that this really is the case. But in any case, they did mention here that 230 projects are being built on the platform. So something which I find disappointing, and again is, as I would say, a result of the marketing and the way that Polkadot are projecting themselves to the media, is they're basically very focused on getting developers on, and they're not trying to promise sort of too much. They're not sort of pushing it as much as, for example, Cardano are. But the disadvantage to that is that you have stuff like this where you want to see which projects are building on Polkadot. There's this website I know called polkaproject.com. It doesn't work. I've tried it on a couple browsers. I also posted in the Polkadot community a day ago. No one has really replied about this, so would be cool to know. But apparently there are 200 plus projects building on Polkadot. All right, next in Polkadot news, Protocol is hosting Google hCaptcha competitor expands to Polkadot. So you guys probably know about hCaptcha. Well, hCaptcha apparently operates on 15% of the internet. And the human protocol, which is the backbone for this anti-bot system called hCaptcha, is expanding beyond Ethereum to a future Polkadot parachain Moonbeam. So this is obviously awesome news. Polkadot, all the features, they don't mean anything unless significant, important project apps are building on the system, on the network. So this is definitely a good sign. And as they say here, the Ethereum mainnet simply could not support our customer requirements and the volume of transactions that already take place daily. But coming to Polkadot allows the protocol to break jobs up into smaller tasks and decentralize the labor markets to everyone around the globe. And apparently every base layer in crypto, so base layers like Polkadot, Cardano, Ethereum, was going after this team, a source familiar with the deal told Coindesk. So obviously it's good news for Polkadot. I wish they would announce this in the announcement channel on Telegram. And then this news from a few weeks ago, Polkadot is the most popular network for staking. Nearly $3 billion worth of DOT tokens are still at stake. And I mean, this is incredible. And as I mentioned this before, this is 66% of all the tokens are at stake. So a lot of people are securing the network, exactly what developers want to see. And Cardano apparently follows Polkadot as the second most popular network, but they only have 1.79 billion worth of ADA stake. Despite having sort of the same market cap as Polkadot, they have significantly less people staking ADA. Now, another thing which I'm not a fan of is, for example, the Polkadot weekly updates. I mean, they have so many updates here. So many things are very technical, very sort of random and not that important. Of course, if you're a developer, it's great. But, if you're an average investor or user or person like me, like an influencer, who wants to find out what's important, what's relevant, well, it's hard. I mean, the one thing I did find is that this Ethereum bridge is coming to Polkadot. And this seems quite relevant in that this Ethereum bridge, once it's production ready for Polkadot in late February, it'll essentially allow apps on Ethereum to work on Polkadot. And this is huge because, if you can just transition so easily from Ethereum to Polkadot, you can have it on this parachain. This could be a really big deal. But again, here, it's dependent on its parachain support. And we have no information about when exactly this parachain support will happen. Probably they're being conservative. They don't want to commit to a date. But, is it Q1? Is it Q2? Who knows? Ethereum had lots of big delays. It could be the end of 2021 for all we know. And if it is, then Cardano might have a leg up on Polkadot. Now, we were talking about how much is staked on Polkadot and Cardano. Well, Ethereum only has $532 million. Remember, to Cardano's $1.78 billion to Polkadot's $3 billion. So Ethereum, obviously they don't have the proof of stake working yet completely. In the sense that, it's still, well, it is working, but it's just the very early stages now. And it's, if you stake, you basically are holding it indefinitely there. So they are definitely ahead of the game when it comes to staking. All right, let's now move on to Cardano news. So DeFi could be coming to Cardano. Again, for both of these platforms, these base layer protocols, the critical thing is that they have apps building on them. So Cardano have this fund where they basically give money, grants, to these projects to build on Cardano. And Liquid is one of these who can receive up to $250,000 in ADA funding. And Project Catalyst is what is actually funding these projects. And IOHK, of course founded by Charles Hoskinson, said that several promising ideas tied to Project Catalyst will be revealed in the coming days. So it's exciting to see future updates. This was December 8th, so this will be over the coming days. Again, similar to Polkadot, the official launch is dependent on the deployment of Cardano smart contracts. But apparently the team is optimistic. Well, optimism isn't ideal. We really want to be realistic, but they're optimistic that this complete smart contract functionality on-chain will be to mid or late Q1 2021. So they expect that it will be sort of February, March of 2021. And of course, if they do have smart contract capability by then, and if it's before Polkadot, then, this could be something exciting. And, I think that the fact of the matter is that Cardano, they have a much better marketing, if you ask me. They have this really interesting, sort of exquisite, sophisticated roadmap with the names like Voltaire and Goguen. And it's just a great story, And I'm sorry, but I don't care how good the tech is, how many people are using it, whatever. People buy stories. People are motivated by stories. They will invest based on stories. And Cardano is really good at building the stories up. They built up a really good story towards Shelly. They had a massive pump, and it looks like they're building a better story than Polkadot for the coming months at least. Personally, I think Polkadot actually has better long-term value than Cardano, but ADA, it has better marketing, and I think that it will have more growth potential over the following months. And IOHK says millions of dollars worth of ADA will be released in 2021 as part of future rounds, from content to community resources, dApps to DeFi. So very similar to Polkadot, a lot of money is going into these projects, which of course is very important to have them actually launch apps on the base layer. Next, Cardano is still the most heavily developed blockchain in GitHub. This is December 9th, just a couple days ago. They have an average of 403 daily commits. Ethereum has 369, Polkadot 322, so it is close behind, and Gnosis with 270. And this has been for a while that they've been number one, so it's great to see that there's a lot of development, but as you can see, Polkadot are very close behind. Then of course there's this news about Cardano launching a hard fork before the next major development phase. Now the developers have said that this should be a very smooth hard fork without any of the sort of typical stress or drama that other hard forks can create. And this hard fork is a transition to the third development phase of the protocol, which is of course the much anticipated Goguen. And this phase will focus on the integration of smart contracts after building Cardano's foundation and decentralizing its system in the first two phases. And as I mentioned before, the next phases will be Basho and Voltaire, which will improve its scaling and governance functions. And then this article, Crypto Slate, I really like. They have good content. Here they talk a bit more about what this hard fork means, basically saying that this will be the cornerstone of Voltaire's governance functionality. So this is the next significant upgrade for Goguen, this hard fork. And they say here it's a small step for Cardano, but it's a huge leap for governance. So Priyeshu Garg here is getting quite excited about what this means for the governance system on Cardano. Token locking, which is what will happen with this hard fork, according to IOHK, will happen behind the scenes and will not affect the experience of ADA holders, as I mentioned before, as Daedalus and Yoroi wallets will both be automatically updated. And tokening, of course, will also enable complex smart contracts on Cardano. So just a lot of good things going on here, it seems. And now this is the sort of very interesting thing, is that IOHK to launch 2 new smart contract devnets for Cardano. Now, it's really important that you make it easy for developers to build on your blockchain and that they can easily transfer from one blockchain to one programming language to another. So what's really interesting here is that they're going to have 2 devnets. One is called KEVM and the other one is called IELA. Now, KEVM very simply will enable the deployment of Ethereum-based apps on Cardano. Again, very important to be able to easily transition from Ethereum to Cardano, Ethereum to Polkadot. But IELA will allow developers to write applications for Cardano in any programming language. So this makes it ultra flexible for developers, and it's very important to make it very easy and smooth transition to get into a Cardano. So this is very interesting, and IELA, the company said, was designed to empower developers to write code in any programming language and port the resulting functionality or app directly onto the Cardano blockchain. And this, as they say, is a significant step for the blockchain, as it will open it up to more developers than ever. So it seems very ambitious. You know, this is all just words right now, but certainly this is, you know, if it really works, and you know, if you can really use any programming language and get onto Cardano, that's a huge bonus. You know, Ethereum, for example, they just have Solidity, and you know, it's very, very popular language right now in cryptocurrency, but it's very complicated, and you know, not every developer knows it. And of course, it has these barriers to entry in the sense that it's more complex than other blockchain languages. All right, guys, so there you have it, Cardano versus Polkadot. This has been the recent news for both of these cryptocurrencies. In another video, I will do a technical analysis. We will look at the price action. We will do some price predictions for Cardano, for Polkadot. We will also look at the liquid supply, because I think this is a very important and often overlooked aspect. The fact that, you know, Polkadot, for example, has 10% inflation every year, and Cardano has a much lower inflation, and what this could mean for the price. So guys, I hope you liked this video. Let me know, leave a comment down below. This is a very new channel, so it's always nice when I get comments of any sort, and I make a point of replying to all of them. I'm still a small channel, so I will be able to do this for the foreseeable future. And you know, sometimes people have great comments. For example, Juff3A here on my video about crypto.com CRO mentioned that 20 billion CRO will be released for the mainnet launch and will be dumped into circulation. Now, this isn't entirely true. They will be released for the mainnet launch, but they won't immediately be released into circulation. You know, that wouldn't make any sense in terms of, you know, for the price. They wouldn't want to just dump it all. It will be in installments, and it won't just go directly into circulation. You know, it'll probably go to funding projects, but nonetheless, this was in the white paper. I do think it's relevant since it's a huge amount of CRO which will be released. But yeah, in any case, guys, if there's anything you want to say in the comments, you know, let me know. What do you think of Polkadot or Cardano? Which one are you holding? Have you, I personally bought some Polkadot a few weeks ago, but you know, actually I'm kind of, after having looked at the recent news and how they're doing with their marketing, I still believe Polkadot is a great long-term hold. I think it has huge potential. But Cardano, I have a feeling that it will continue its basically beating Polkadot in the way that it has been over the past months. And yeah, as I said, I'll make another video going more deeply into the TA. All right, guys, that's been it from me. It's Crypto Frank. I was tuning in and now I'm tuning out. I'll probably have to change that outro at some point, but that is what it is for now. Have a good one, guys. See you later.